On.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi.
Morning.
All right. So all of you, I see, most of you you tried to upload your essay on Acacia, but it did not attach for you.
Yeah.
I think none of you tried clicking on the cloud next to it, right? When
I
you
didn't have that option.
you didn't have that option,
No.
there is a cloud sign next to it when you attach the file, and then once you click on cloud, then you will see a bar that tells you it's uploading, and then you will see the file name. Once you see the file name, then you submit. So one student did it, so probably it's showing up something. I think maybe you guys didn't see it. So next time, basically, there is a cloud next to it when you attach, and make sure your file name is there. You see on top, whatever the name of your file is, it should show up. Andrew?
Mine says like 60% complete, like it's still loading. I don't know if that means anything.
Okay.
Like for you, like it
Mhm.
just says it's loading and it's at 60%.
Okay. I will let me check. I think yours is. I think it's uploaded. Just a minute. So no, yours is not uploaded.
Yeah, I think it's uploading. Like I think it's still like it says 60%, so I think it's still on the way
Right,
there.
it didn't go through. I see one student, two students. Let's see how many are uploaded.
I just blatantly forgot to attach mine.
Right, 2 and 3. 3 students were able to, upload. But you have emailed me, so you don't have to worry about it. But why I'm asking you to do it, because once you do it, now we have grade book as well here. And once you do it here, so I can assign you grade in the grade book here on top, and then you will see your grade in the system. So even if you make an effort and it did not go through, that's fine, because I have your essays. I will read it and I'll give you grade on this one. So that's all I want right now. But make sure next time the cloud, you click on cloud button, and Andrew, you're saying yours is 60%. So I'll inquire what happened. All right. So let's talk about the movie you watched, uh, Wall Street, and you read the article by Milton Friedman. The social responsibility of a corporation is to make profit, right? So let's have this discussion. You guys tell me what you saw in the movie, what you read in the article, and how they're related. What is the lesson here?
It was just like the movie. It was about like the morality between I think it was Fox and Grekin, I believe, or something like that, and basically like he's doing wrong things, but then like it's a whole dilemma of like he affects his father's like livelihood, and if not, he gets in trouble.
Mhm.
But either way, like it's just like a lose-lose situation. It's just the morality of it.
Mhm.
I mean, you can basically say the moral of the story is just stay true to your values,
Mhm.
because he was straight and narrow until he met Greco.
Mhm.
So
Others? What did you see? Brianna, you're muted.
You talking to me?
Brianna, I was asking. But Logan, feel free to go ahead. Go ahead, Brianna.
Um, I think there was a lot of things that can relate even like in the real world. Because he talked, I think they mentioned once that like the 1% wealthy own 50% of the country's wealth.
Hmm. Logan, what did you want to say?
No, I was just gonna say like the same stuff that's been said, basically.
So, what do you see in the movie other than the morality aspect of it that that strikes to you?
You can see like the people on Wall Street, and especially Gecko, like the greed for money and how hungry they are to make more money and be more wealthy, and sometimes they don't really follow like their personal values in order to get that money.
Hmm. So basically, you see greed, right, in the
Yeah.
movie, and Gordon Gekko, I mean, he basically is saying greed is good, right, at the stockholders meeting. So he's promoting that. So you read the article, right, by Milton Friedman. Now let's connect that with this statement: greed is good. What Gordon Gekko is saying.
Well, it talks about within the article. It also talks about like social responsibilities,
Hmm.
and then there's like I think it's on about the third or fourth page. It talks about also how like he has a responsibility to like use money, like the people's money that have been given to him, and like how he spends it, and how much he contribute to inflation, and how he is to know what action will contribute to his end, and things like that, which in turn like help the economy and like help
Hmm.
people have jobs and things like that. Because he's trying to increase his profits also. It's mutual, and that can kind of be
So,
tied into like Wall
mhm,
Street, like the movie as
mhm,
well, because people are like hyper aggressive and like they
mhm,
want to make money, but it's not a bad thing that they make money.
mhm. So basically, the question that the article is asking: should corporations, the managers of the corporations, right, should they be doing some kind of charitable work, let's say, right? Is it okay? So let's say you're looking at Walmart, right? And you are the manager at your local Walmart, okay? So should you be spending Walmart money to do charitable things in the community where you operate? What is your answer to that? All of you, tell me what's your answer to that.
I mean, if the manager is allowed to, but like the CEO or something like that, like because it's not his money, you know. Um, like the CEO or whoever runs Walmart like has to give the okay for it. But then yeah,
So let's say talk about CEO then. You are the CEO of Walmart, right? So should you be spending shareholders' money, right? Because you work for Walmart Corporation, you get a salary as a CEO, and you have a lot of discretion, right? You spend money as you wish, right? You have a lot of power over it. So should you be spending money on, charitable causes all over the world where you operate?
Yeah, if you have the resources to do it. I mean, like Walmart does it now. I mean, I think if you have the resources to do it and like your shareholders agree upon it, also like your major state ones agree upon it,
Mhm.
I don't see a big problem with it.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I agree with Andrew. Like, if the shareholders say it's okay, then yeah, but most of the time, they just want to make more profits. Like the shareholders they want to make more profits, and
Mhm.
that's the reason why they invested in that company, right?
Mhm. Other ideas on it?
I think it really boils down to what the shareholders want to do, because it's not just your company. I mean, especially one that's public like Walmart.
Mhm.
I mean, it's really everyone's money in there, and depending, like if something happens like the coronavirus, then they need that money. So it's really everyone's decision. It can't just boil down to one person.
So according to the article by Milton Friedman, what would he think of this decision of yours? You're the CEO of Walmart, and you are spending money, on charitable causes. You want to, let's say, um, feed the hungry people, right, in your neighborhood right now. You donate them stuff. What would Milton Friedman think of it? According to article that he's saying, would he be okay with it?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because it's your corporate social responsibility to um, help out the community that you're within.
See, if you read the article by Milton Friedman, he won Nobel Prize in economics, and he was a professor at University of Chicago. He was the leading public intellectual of his time. He died many years ago at a very ripe age of 92 or 93. I think a decade ago he died. But in the 60s and 70s and 80s of America, he was the giant. Basically, you would see him everywhere on TV, in the news, and everywhere. So he took up his ideas were more aligned with conservative movement in the U.S., not on the liberal side, right? So so he was more free marketer kind of person. So if you read his article, he's saying that corporation is not an individual, right? So individuals can make decisions. You have your money, you earn, you can spend it any way you want, right? That's your choice. You make that decision. But corporations are not individuals, right? So a manager of a corporation, right, has one responsibility. And the only responsibility the manager has is to make profit for the owners of the corporation, right? Who are the shareholders, basically. That's the only responsibility you have. So, in his views, corporations do not have social responsibilities, but individuals do, right? Now, he also, tells you that corporations may have social responsibility if it is determined that that kind of social responsibility is profit enhancing for the corporation. You see that? So basically, what he's saying, it's okay to indulge in corporate social responsibility if it enhances your profit. It allows the corporation to make more profit. Then that kind of expenditure is justified. So if a Walmart, CEO thinks that if they do more charitable things in the communities where they operate, and this basically is going to help them in making more profit in the future, then it's good. Then you should go ahead and do it, right? Because that's a corporate decision you are making. The underlying principle is to increase profit for the shareholders, right? Then those expenditures are justified according to Milton Friedman. But if a CEO is just philanthropic, right, and he does not have this agenda of maximizing profit for the corporation, he just wants to help people, right, using Walmart money because he is in that position to spend Walmart money. That is not right, according to him. Does that make sense? What Milton Friedman is proposing here? So, so that's the takeaway you have from this paper. Corporations do not have social responsibilities as such, as long as they help the corporation in increasing profit, then they should take up those corporate social responsibilities. That is the stake basically. And most corporations these days, you see them doing a lot of charitable things, right? Walmart does a lot of charitable things, and all corporations do a lot of charitable things. Now, they are doing it not because they are charitable. Keep that in mind. They're doing it because it earns them goodwill in the communities where they operate, right? When Walmart, helps people who are suffering from hunger, right, by donating them food, they are earning goodwill, and they are calculate. They're thinking that these people, once they stand on their own feet, they will buy more from Walmart because they'll remember this charitable gesture. Can you see that? And they'll talk about it to other people, and that will bring them more customers. So basically, when they do these kind of charities, their primary motive is still the profit. Can you see that? The future profit they can make by spending this money. So think of it as an advertising campaign Walmart is doing by doing charitable contributions in the economy, because that helps them in bringing in more revenues in the future. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
So when you see next time a corporation doing charitable work in your area, of course that's good. We encourage them to do it, but keep in mind the underlying principle is still more profit for them, right? That's why they're doing it. If they do not see a advantage for them, they are not going to do any kind of charitable work because they're after money, right? But this charitable work allows them to make more money. That's why they're doing it. So basically, the idea is that greed is basically behind everything, right? We have talked about self-interest. Remember, week 1, your private self-interest, right? You still pursue that. Everyone is doing that. Corporations are doing it, right? So there is a motive, self-interest motive, which is nothing but greed. You can think of it that way. You want to maximize your utility, right? A plain way of saying that you're greedy. There's hardly any difference in it. Everyone is greedy that way. So there's nothing wrong in acknowledging that. People are self-interested. They pursue their self-interest. In other words, they're greedy. And greed is behind uh, the capitalist system. Capitalist system works on greed. If you remove greed, capitalist system is going to collapse. We have seen that under socialism, right, and communism. We have had experiments with those in Soviet Union, if you remember. Soviet Union, followed that principle where greed was not the underlying principle. People were asked not to be greedy. There was no incentive structure. So a top scientist is going to make same kind of money as a janitor, right? Let's put it that way. Under a socialist structure, right? So everyone is equal basically. That's the idea. There's no differentiation between you know uh, whether you are highly intelligent person or highly educated person or not. Your income is not going to be much different. You will have similar quality of life. That was going on, right, under socialism. That's what basically equal, right? Everything is equal income wise. But then what happens? You kill the incentive to innovate, to invent. Can you see that? A scientist doesn't see any incentive in doing research. Why should I do it when I'm taken care of, right? And what is the benefit to me other than just getting some names? There's no monetary reward, no distinction. My life is as good as anybody else in the society because government takes care of it. So then what happens? You lose that incentive, right? You drive to do better. And that's what happened under the communist regime, the Soviet Union, right? And it collapsed basically. There was no greed in the system. So greed is a bad word, but keep in mind, greed is what keeps the capitalist system that we have in the US and in many other countries behind that. Without greed, it would not work. People would not have enough incentive to go out and work, right, and do things and make society better. Because money, is kind of a drug basically for a lot of people. Think of it that way. It's intoxicating. The more money you make, the more motivated you are, not for everyone I'm taking, but in general, right? It happens, and people try to do better and make more money and things like that, right? So they're greedy basically, but that's what propels your society further. That's what makes society better. It's not equal like under socialism, but it takes you to the next level and it pulls everyone up, right? Even the poorer person, as you can see. Today's poor in America, let's just take an example. Today's poor in America, right? They are far, far better than the poor of America 100 years ago. Can you see that? Actually,
Yeah.
today's poor are far better than rich people of 100 years ago. Because what luxuries of life they can afford today in today's America, right? The poor people. The rich people could not have dreamed of those things 100 years ago. So what happened? I mean, the self-interest, the capitalist system, it took the economy to a higher level. It kept on doing it, and it lifted everyone else, right? Rich became very rich. Poor, the gap widened, income inequality rose, but that does not mean in absolute terms poor became worse off. Can you see that? Poor are taken care of. They don't have to, think of, dying from starvation or not having medical care and things like that, because they are taken care of in some ways by the society in general, because society is more prosperous, right? And society has devised some safety mechanisms like unemployment insurance, right? Food stamps, all those things were not there 100 years ago. Now poor are still poor, they feel poor. I'm not saying they don't feel worse off, but their basic necessities have been met. They can still survive, right, with that kind of safety mechanism, because we have created those, because we generated enough income to devote resources towards taking care of that. So in spite of all the drawbacks we highlight about the capitalist system. It has a lot of weaknesses and a lot of demerits. We all agree with that. We don't say it's perfect system, right? It's not a perfect system, but it has a lot of positives as well, right? When you compare it with the other systems that we have out there, and the other system was communism or socialism, right? In its extreme form. I'm not saying socialism is altogether bad, but in its extreme form, it did not work. We experimented with that in many countries in the world, and it collapsed. And today's Russia is more market friendly and kind of capitalist society than what Soviet Union was. China started as a communist country, but today is very market friendly. It's more capitalist society. It's just the political regime is still communist, right? But the market works like any other capitalist economy these days over there. So they all understood the the force of greed, how greed takes you to the next level, how it allows you to advance further. But keep in mind that it's not equitable, right? Not everyone is going to equally benefit from the market economy, right? And we see that all around us. All right, so what else you saw in the movie and read in the article? All right. So I have graded your second paper and I will email you the answers to it. And that way uh, we can, many of you were not able to address everything we discuss in live session. I want you to, when you write your paper, you should incorporate the discussion, the questions I'm taking up, right, in the discussion. And those questions need to be answered in a clear way. Some of you listen to things, write it down, and you reproduce those without making any sense of it. So what you're doing is, you jump from one to next without connecting them. What is the reason for writing that? It's not evident to me. So you might want to pay attention to that for the next essays. There should be, some kind of continuity. When you write, you connect, the reader should get an idea of why you are incorporating that concept. What is the reason for that, right? So you have to provide the context, and then you're addressing that question. So be a little bit more clear about what you're writing, rather than just reproducing what you have read and listen to in this session. All right, so I will email you your scores with the comments. I think it would be a good idea, since I'm using the gradebook now in Acacia. I would create those new assignments for paper one and paper two. You don't have to write anything. You just have to basically go and click submit, right? Without putting any file, like you did so far, right? Try to attach something, your previous paper, and just, even if it doesn't go through, that's fine. But it will create the column in the grade book for your assignment, paper one and paper two. And I will put all the grades that I have already given you over there. All right. Does that make sense? Just to have, all the grades in one place for you.
Wait, so we go to the assignment button at the top right, and then we click add question, and then the add
No,
gradebook thing.
no, I will create those for you, like you are
Oh,
seeing right now, right? You have seen response paper one, response paper two, and so on, right? What I will do, I will create new response paper one and response paper two assignments, right? You don't have to do anything. You just go and submit on it, right? Whatever you
okay.
did for response paper one and two. Even if you don't, that's fine. It will create a column in the grade book that way. And then I will assign whatever grade I gave you, I will just enter those, just for record, to see, for you to see everything in one place. All right, because we didn't have grade book till a few days ago on Acacia. So now it's available. So I just want to put everything over there for you.
Okay.
All right.
Have you emailed the first paperback or no? Did you?
I think I have given you. I have emailed everyone a score of first paper, right? With the comments. Have I done that?
Yeah.
You haven't received?
I mean, to be honest, I haven't been looking for it. I was just,
Okay, you
but
might want to
I can
go
check.
back to your Elmira College email ID, and you will see your score and the comments I have given you. Everyone is receiving individual email from me right now, right? But I
Okay,
will
cool.
do those things here on Acacia. Now I will the comments I'm going to write. It will be available on Acacia. Right? So I think I'm going to wait for you to submit. I'll create a new response to paper, right? A response paper two, and then I will enter, your comments into it. Uh, but I will email you for sure your scores. That we can do later. Don't worry about it. All right. So the next movie you are going to watch is what?
Norma Ray.
Norma Ray. All right. That's a very good movie to watch, and it's on labor union. So we are now in talking about corporations, right? In this week, you saw the Wall Street, and now we are going to talk about uh, labor unions, right? How they affect the working conditions of the workers, right? Labor unions wield a lot of power, um, and they use that to bargain better conditions, terms and conditions for their members, right, who are employees in some corporation. So you will see it was not automatic. I mean, there was a big struggle in America, right? The workers had to fight a lot of battles to get to where we are today, right? All the perks and benefits you see of what workers get to enjoy, the laws to protect them, they did not come easy. There were a lot of battles, and union was behind a lot of those, right? So you will see one of those cases here in the movie to Norma Ray, and the article that I have assigned is a journal article. So it's a little bit more technical. It uses econometrics, so don't worry about the numbers and the methodology. That's not important. But as long as you read the introduction and conclusion, pure English, I think you would understand what's going on, right? So try to understand wherever is English, in pure English, try to read that even in the mix. It will give you a very good idea about the factors that basically the article is about. How did we started working 8 hours a day? Earlier workers used to work longer hours, right? And it was very difficult. So we had to fight to earn that, right, 8 hours a day. And that became a movement in America. So this article is basically talking about the factors that led to the reduction in work hours, average work hours in America, right? So you're going to identify those factors. What were those factors that contributed to reduction in work hours? So read that article from that perspective, and that is what we're going to discuss. All right. So make sure that you're prepared for the discussion. All right. So if you don't have any questions or comments for me, then I'll see you guys on Friday. Andrew? Yeah.
Yeah, I just checked my email. It's not in there. The
Okay. So
responses.
I will
Yeah.
look at it. If you do not receive an email, you send me an email reminding me to give you your score.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just. Do you want me to do that right now? Or?
Yeah, you can do that right now. Yes. Uh, all right. So everyone is fine.
Yep.
So when you see a new response paper one and two, take your time and just try to upload anything. It doesn't have to be paper, right? Just try to, your idea is to submit something. And then I will use that to assign you grades later on in this activity. So
Okay.
come back sometime whenever you're free to Acacia and then do it. You don't have to do it right away. It can be done anytime. All right. So See you guys on Friday.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you.